Welcome to Commas, a review of the almighty comma. Commas do matter. They can make the difference between having grandfather over for lunch or having grandfather for lunch. Take a minute and see if you can select the correct sentence out of these three. Number 1, in the middle of the night, comma, Lily started crying, comma, I was so tired but I still got up to take care of her. Number 2, when I read books, comma, I get so involved with the characters that I forget what time it is and am sometimes late for important meetings. Number 3, describing the way she laughed seemed to fluster him a bit, comma, he was definitely in love with her. Did you get it right? Number 2 is the right answer, and here's why. When I read books, comma, when I read books is a dependent clause that introduces the sentence. That's one of those comma rules that we must follow. Number 1 is wrong because in the middle of the night, comma, Lily started crying, comma, the comma after Lily started crying is actually a comma splice, which is incorrect. A comma splice is one of the most common grammar and usage errors in the English language, and we'll talk about it at length. Number 3 also has a comma splice. As I said, it's very common and very wrong. There are many, many comma rules. So we'll just discuss a few in this short course. The main rules I want you to remember are that you use commas to set off introductory elements, separate independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction, set off non-essential information, separate multiple adjectives, and separate items in a list. You don't use commas when you're setting off essential information because you don't need to set off essential information. You also do not separate independent clauses without a coordinating conjunction. That's what results in a comma splice. Here's an example of an introductory element. And I refer to all introductory material, whether it's a phrase or a clause, as an introductory element, and I recommend including a comma after it, even if it's shorter or not even a clause. When I was a child, I loved to ride my bike. That's our example on the screen. Where does the comma go? Right, after child. When I was a child, comma, I loved to ride my bike. When I was a child is one of those dependent clauses. Introductory elements aren't always clauses, but it's important to use a comma after them for clarity. Some grammar handbooks may tell you that it's optional, that you can choose whether it needs to be there or not. I say make it easy on yourself and just always put the comma. In the college dorm rooms are so tiny. Where's the comma go? This is a little tricky because the comma, it appears, could go in a couple different places. And if you were thinking a little different than after dorm, maybe you were thinking in the college, comma, dorm rooms are so tiny, you'd be fine. You'd be completely right to use the comma there too. In the college dorm, rooms are so tiny.